Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It is the Basic Builder back with another Valheim build. In today's video, we're going to be starting on this large medieval house set back in the plains, and this will be a three-part series. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. And if you do enjoy, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button and subscribe for more content. Without further ado, let's get started. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started with the foundation. Very large foundation, very big house, and you know it's going to be a long couple of videos here. I've got about 6 hours or so into this one build as far as the main building is concerned, and an additional probably 10 hours with the rest of the stuff, just fine-tuning and doing the interior. I'm not going to show off the interior just yet. I do plan on doing a walkthrough once I finish editing the rest of the actual main build itself. So you know, stay tuned for that, and make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, so you don't miss anything else with this build and any other videos that I've got coming. So about this foundation, we're going to go 5 blocks high, so try to get your most flat ground as possible. I did a lot of leveling out, and you can see there's a couple of I guess you can call some dips in the ground, so make sure you sink the stone blocks all the way down in there. We have it, I think it's, I can't remember, I'll put up the dimensions though of the actual foundation, so you have a good view of what we got going on. Really wanted to put detail into this build. I haven't done a really detailed build ever, and I'm a details person. I love, you know, adding dimension to a build and all of that, so that's why it took me forever to get this build done. So yeah, like I said, we're gonna go 5 blocks high. We're working on the base of this tower. The tower is going to be used to access all 3 levels of this build. You'll have the basement floor, which is the kitchen. You'll have your main living area on the first floor, which you'll see that in this video as well. And then the top floor will be the bedroom arrangements for around 6 Vikings or so. Kind of made I wouldn't call it a bunk bed, but it is a bunk bed in a way, and a nice little like common area. So you'll see that. Added these fancy chandeliers that I did not take credit for. That was a tutorial that I did in my last video, so if you haven't seen that, go ahead and check that out as well. But I did add these into this build. That was the first time I've actually ever done it. So here you can see I'm finally working on getting some stairs put in. Go back in and actually modify these stairs again. You'll see that in section 2 of this video when we do the first floor wall. So anyways, here you can see I'm going to start filling in the foundation pieces and all of that. That little jut out is actually going to be a nice little eating nook area, I guess you could call it, with some custom furniture as well. So you'll see that when we do the final walkthrough in part 3 of this particular series. So now you can see we're going to go finish up the walls and then continue fixing the stairs here again. So I didn't like it. I wanted more of a landing at the top of the stairs instead of it leading straight into the actual house itself. So that's exactly what we did, bringing out the stone, placing everything. So anyways, we're going to stop here on the foundation and we're going to move on into the next one. All right, here we are. As you see, the title said, we're going to start working on the walls itself. So this is the longer part of the video here, so stick with me. I'm going to do my best to explain what I can all the way through. You can see here that I am going around adding up, putting all these columns in. This is going to be the tallest part of the rock for the tower itself. Like I said, the tower is going to be used to navigate all 3 floors. And then we get into the actual wooden features of this particular build. Really wanted to test myself here, and I don't know why, but I did, by using the small door to offset the actual wooden walls on top of the stone, again to give that dimension. And I use this technique throughout this build here, placing columns for the overhang you'll see later on, and really just it was really difficult, I guess you could say, using that because of the offset, but in the end it gave really good dimensions on the wall, and you can see that you'll see that here shortly. So I wanted to go ahead and get a door in. I know with a big house you'd rather have a more of a grand entrance, but you know, it is what it is. So here you can see now I'm going ahead and starting to work on some of those dimensions and adding that characteristic of popping out the slanted wood beams and all of that. So again, having to overlap a little bit of the wood as we move our way around the actual house itself. And you can see I'm going to constantly go back and feature many different parts of this. So now we're moving on into the actual layout of the floor. I wanted to do some kind of pattern on the floor. This does end up changing slightly in the end, but you know, I think it turned out all right in my opinion. So once I realized I feel like I needed a fireplace, so you'll see that as well. But what I'm doing right now is just creating equal boxes all the way around, and then filling them in with the wood pieces here. And then as I fill in the rest of it, then we rotate the middle sections opposite of the actual boxes itself. So anyways, now we're going to move into the tower area, kind of just, you know, cleaning everything off and figuring out how to get down to the very bottom of the build. So I puzzled around a little bit here and there and ended up going with the wooden ladders right here, and I used that all the way up the build. It actually fit pretty well. This first floor is going to have really tall roofs, or tall ceilings I should say. I think I go, let's see here, we go 2, 4, I think it's almost 8 meters high if I'm not mistaken. So it is quite large, quite tall ceilings, which give it a really grand feel to it. So anyways, here we are going to go ahead and continue on the back wall. This is where majority of the windows are in this particular build. I did pull some reference for this inspiration, I guess you'd call it inspiration, for this build off of Pinterest, and kind of just ran with it a little bit. So if you're ever struggling for inspiration or what to build, Pinterest is the way to go, in my opinion. That's what I use for the most part. This back side here where I'm placing all of these, I went back and forth, tore it down and built it back up multiple times. Ended up placing a fireplace in it, like I said earlier, and so all this work actually got completely torn down like that. So trial and error when you're building, and not fully planning out. I'm literally looking at the picture that I pulled from Pinterest to kind of guide my way through this particular build. So, you know, that's part of it when you don't fully plan, which I probably should do. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below, when you're building, do you actually plan out exactly what you're going to build, or do you just kind of wing it like I'm doing here? So anyways, just going in and adding a little bit of detail with the wood, finishing up the floor, and then we're gonna fix everything. So I ended up doubling up, as I right here I ended up doubling up the wood beams going across the first part of the walls here on the bottom. I guess you can call it the base layer of the first floor walls, tearing it all out again, trial and error, putting it back in. So I wanted to double it up. That way when I go to place the next layer of walls up, they offset a little bit back, so you still have that detail on the front. So anyways, finally we're gonna get around to the back again, and hopefully trial and error, you get it right the last time, I guess you could call it. I know I'm rambling a little bit, but like I said earlier, this was my most detailed build, so I really wanted to take my time with it and get it right the first time. Will I do another build like this again? Yeah, I'm going to do another build like this again. I enjoy it way too much, but I may end up changing the style of video, just so I can get some content out to y'all a little bit faster than every 2 weeks that it's been going at right now lately. I have a very busy schedule currently right now with kids in sports and a 7-month-old little baby and my other kids. So if you are new to the channel, I am also I'm a foster parent, so we foster kids that we've been doing this now for about 8 years. So I have a very, very busy life outside of YouTube as well, and working full-time job. So please forgive me on that while the content is lacking lately. But anyways, enough about that. Working on putting the walls on that kitchen nook, and now we're going to finally put a little bit of roof, add a little bit more character to the build itself. This will, like I said, this is going to be a 3-part series is what I'm shooting for. So in the next video, we're going to be working on the roof section as well as finishing off the tower, which I'm pretty excited of the way the tower is. I did a little trick that I haven't seen done before with the very, very top of the tower. So I'm not going to spoil it now for y'all, but I like it, and I think it's different for sure. And I wish we had more pieces in a way that we could do what I did. So again, I don't want to spoil it for you, so you gotta stick around for the whole series to find out exactly what I did. So anyways, working on the overhang here with everything being offset, trying to get it to line up to the right piece here was quite difficult, and making sure that the roofs were actually aligned. And again, I don't think they are aligned at all, just looking at that angle, but I trust my build process, and it is what it is. With it being offset like that, it does leave some gaps here and there. So if you're trying to replicate this build, like I said in the description of the video, I will put the link or the image that I used for this inspiration. Do your best you can with it, but there are some areas when you offset it and you're trying to add all these details, it will leave some gaps and voids in your walls here and there. So anyways, putting in this window here, gonna make a nice window sill. But again, the details, I can't stress it enough how much I did in this build. Wow, I probably should go to bed. I'm sitting here recording this late at night since it's my only quiet time in the house. But speaking of quiet times, actually, I wanted to mention that I am considering streaming more, well, starting to stream. I want to some build for y'all. So if that's something that you would like to see, let me know down in the comments below. That way we can kind of interact real time, and potentially I may have y'all, if you're up to it, I may do a build series where the audience kind of directs what I build. I don't know. Just think that may be a cool idea. So if that's something that you would like to see, or you want to see me streaming, then let me know. If I do stream, it will probably be on Sundays, in the Eastern time zone here. So it will probably be Sunday mornings around, I don't know. I don't want to give an exact time. So, make sure you follow me over on my Twitter account, because I will be posting it there, as well as I'll be posting it in the community tab as well on my page. So again, make sure you turn on your notification bells and you are subscribed so you don't miss that. I really want to get in and interact more with my community, with the Valheim community itself in general, and really bring some, I guess, some one-on-ones, not even one-on-ones, but some more interaction with all of y'all. So I don't know where I'm going with that, but yeah, I do want to start streaming. I've wanted to do it for a while. Finally been working on trying to get everything set up for streaming. It's not going to be perfect the first time, so please forgive me on that, but I'm going to do the best I can. Anyways, back to the build. We finally got this nice looking overhang. I really do enjoy this overhang over the front entrance. And you'll see a reoccurring theme here is the dragons, the fine wood dragon, that carving that I put on every single peak that I can in this build. So here you can see I'm doing it right now. So yeah, I really like that fine wood dragon, and it actually fits really well to this particular build. The dark wood, I didn't want to overuse or overpower the build with so many dark accents, considering that the roof itself is using the tar pieces. So anyways, if you're wondering about the actual structure, and you can see here that some of the columns are actually turning red and orange, I do go back in, and you'll see it actually in this video, where we'll actually go into the corners and place the wood iron beams, so you do have that extra support there. So anyways, so we are now trying to count the levels. I believe it is 4 2-meter tall wall pieces going all the way up. So now we're going to just bring up the tower even higher a little bit. Like I said, in part 2 of this build, we will be finishing off the tower. I guess putting the top and the details onto the top. So with this build, going from the ground up, you got to continue it so everything's going to flow together in the very end. But you'll see there, I'm putting a little window in, and again, in the picture and in the picture that I used for reference, there is a small little window there. I wish we had 1 meter 26 and 45 degree pieces. That would be game changer as well. So Valheim, if you're watching this, the devs, smaller wood pieces, I would really like that. Anyways, yeah, so there is a window there, and I just kind of frame it out with the normal wood there, normal wood, and we're like right here what I'm doing right now, finishing it off. But it was just something a little bit different, since there isn't many windows except on the back. The reference of the picture reference didn't have hardly any windows at all in this build, so I kind of had to play with it a little bit. So anyways, there we are putting those wood iron beams in. That way now the structure is going to be fully supported on the tower. So anyways, take a break from talking for a second. Anyways, here we are going back to the back side now. We're going to finally finish putting in the windows and the fireplace and all that. The fireplace was a really cool feature. It's actually used, it's multi-purpose, I guess you can call it. I wouldn't even call it multi-purpose, but in the basement of this build, I did put a hearth down there in the kitchen area, and then I was like, well, you know, it's not going to heat up the whole place, so how do I go about doing that? Well, I wanted to figure out a way that I can place a hearth on this main floor. That way it also heats the upstairs area, which it does. So that's exactly what I did. I made this huge round fireplace, and it's actually covered enough to where if it does rain, it does not put out the fire, even though there's not really a roof over it. There is, but there isn't. It doesn't look like there's a roof over it because it's kind of hidden. At first I wanted to throw in those ovens, but end up changing that out. And that's where the hearth will actually go, is in the middle there. And then I'll build it all up. I've had to put this round piece in and take it back out because it turned out it was not centered. And this technique here and rotating, it does take quite some time because normally I will build a chimney that goes all the way up and you can see it over the top of the roof. This one I did not, but it still took a while because it's rotating and rotating and rotating and rotating. And you know, if you build round or circle in Valheim, you know how tedious it can be. It does take a lot of time to do that. So that's, you know, what I had to do. But in the end, I think it turned out really, really well. This build, though, in general, this is my favorite build that I've ever done. I know when I did the build for Baldur house, I really, really liked that house as well. I mean, it was absolutely massive. For some reason, I always just build absolutely huge in Valheim. I know I didn't do a video on that particular build. I just posted it on to my Twitter account and submitted it for the competition. So, but it was a really, really cool build as well. But this one takes all the I guess I don't even know where I'm going with that. This is my favorite build. We'll just leave it at that. So anyways, here's the windows. Finished off the back wall. There will be some more changes to this back wall a little bit, but the majority of it is actually set where nothing else will change. Big opening for the fireplace. Made sure I supported the hearth itself with the wood iron beams through the stone there, and then on the outside to really dress it up, I wanted to bring the stone all the way up into to the bottom of the next floor. So anyways, guys, I'm going to stop there with rambling on and leave the rest of the speed build. There's just about a minute or two left. I'm gonna just put these stairs in and that'll be it. So stick around for part 2. Should be released really soon. But if you do like what you've seen so far, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, leave a comment down below, and we'll see you in the next video. Again, thank you guys, and we'll talk to you later. See ya. Bye-bye.